Sorry for coughing. Good evening to those who've just joined. To venue. Good evening, Bob. Thank you for joining. Bob says, evening, Lisa. Pretty garden. Thank you. Most of it's dead, though, because of all the heat. The grass is brown. Some of the plants are dying. Good evening to those of you just joining. Richard says, good evening, Lisa. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Got a change of venue. We're in the garden this evening, where everything is dying. Michael, hello. Thank you for joining. Michael says, sorry, can't stop. Just been called by the missus. That's absolutely fine. Jean says, hi. Hi, Jean. Are you all right? We're in the garden, Jean, where everything is dead. The grass is brown. These little things are looking a bit past their best. But never mind. Jean says, how are you feeling? Okay, it's just a cough now. But the cough was the last thing. But other than that, I'm fine. And I'm testing negative. So it's probably 7, 8, 9 days. 9 days positive, I think. Michael says, hi Lisa, great to see you getting the hang of this live. Thank you. I do like doing the lives. I love chatting to you all. Bob by the water says, be back later. Okay, Bob. Jean says, hooray, negative at last. Yes. I'm okay until I laugh and then I start coughing. There's a little fountain thing. And of course the sun's gone in. It's solar powered, so it's struggling to operate. In case you wonder what that is. The sunflowers are facing east, all ready for the sun in the morning. Can you see the sunflowers? Let me just do this another notch. It doesn't want to go up. I don't think it wants to go directly. Oh, maybe it does. Let's do it like that. Lots of rain last night, so didn't have to water everything last night. Sally Ann says, evening Lisa, it all looks very pretty. Thank you, Sally Ann. I was saying earlier that everything's dead really because of the heat. The grass is brown. Some of the plants are not looking too good. But there you are. You can only do what you can do, can't you? Stephen says, good evening, Lisa. Hope you're well. I am, Stephen. Thank you. Stephen, I am COVID negative. Got a cough. But only if I laugh. So, that's good, isn't it? You can see these little things here, these are all dying. So everything's watered every night. Thank you, Stephen, that is great news. It is great news. I'm pleased. It just seemed to take forever. The sky's looking a bit grey. Grey clouds. I don't know if we're due to get any more rain or not. What's everybody been up to? Thank you to those of you just joining. Basically, I was too lazy to go out somewhere, so I thought I'll just sit in the garden. John, good evening. How are you? Have you had a good day? Thank you for joining us. It's very quiet outside. Jean says, I didn't do my pots with the bedding plants this year because they would have died in the heat while we were away for 2 weeks. Yes, I mean, even, you know, us being here and watering every night, things have still died. And for those of you wondering why everything is in pots, Jean says we can hear the ice cream man. Not here, not where I am. It must be at yours. Years ago, this used to be a brickworks where these houses are, so you don't have to dig down very far before you get sand, so nothing grows. So if you want to grow anything, you have to put it in pots. See, it was it yours, wasn't it, Jean? It's not here. John says, a good day, thanks, but stuck at work. How are you? I heard the ice cream man too, a 99 for me. You have both heard the ice cream van. I never heard him. Well, I can hear a van out there now. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Maybe I was concentrating. Make a change, wouldn't it? Me to actually be concentrating on what you're all saying to me. That's a rarity, that is. Normally I miss all the messages. There's definitely a vehicle out there. So I will apologise and say you're all right. There was then. I never heard it. Jean says, thanks, John. I'm not going mad. No. Think I'm going deaf, Jean, because I never heard it. Big bumblebee on the sunflower then. How are you all coping in the heat? I'm not a fan of the heat, I have to say. Richard says, I heard the ice cream van too. Well, something's just driven away, so it was probably that. You were all right. I never heard it. How could I miss that? Jean says, I can detect an ice cream van for miles. It's my guilty pleasure. Love the ones you get at Ludham Bridge. Yes, that's lovely ice cream, isn't it, at Ludham stores. Sally says, sitting in front of the fan. It's quite nice and cool outside. But obviously I have got the fans going inside. As you can see, somebody else is coughing, or here, someone else is coughing in the family. John says, we had rain in Norwich today, but not much. Oh, we had rain last night, lots of rain, but just a few spots on the window earlier. It sounds very noisy out there, doesn't it? Jean says, it's been comfortable here in Shropshire. A little rain, no need for the fans. Oh, I have my fan on 24/7. Have my window open just on the little latch. Oh yeah, I can't open it wide because of Bertie. He would want to go and investigate outside. Bertie even has his own fan upstairs on the landing. Sally Ann says, my fan says it's still 26. That's high, isn't it? Plane flying over. I can hear it anyway. Very high up. Can't see it. Jean says, only 19 here. Yeah, you're definitely right. The ice cream van is going again. That would have been right outside mine and I never heard it. Obviously, I just tune out of it. Zone out. Don't even hear it anymore. I contemplated going somewhere, but to do the live from elsewhere, but when I'm out of an evening and I do the lives, there's always people drive past. There's always a red car. So I thought, right, well, I'll just say I'm in Norfolk. Hello to the new people just joining. It's not a very exciting view, I do apologise, but we're just chilling in the garden, having a chat. Jean says, well, I'm off to do some supper now. Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining, Jean. How's everybody's gardens looking in the heat? It's meant to get hot again, isn't it? We've got a wood pigeon serenading us. It's still quite warm outside. Sorry. Have a drink, Lisa. You're all very quiet this evening. It's different when you've got boats going past, isn't it? Just seemed too hot to go out earlier. And it was very windy. John says we really do need some decent rain. My allotment is looking really thirsty. Yes, it's enough just keeping this lot watered. And I don't really do the watering. That's not really me. I did do it a couple of nights ago. Watered everything. When it's been really hot, they've been watered in the morning and then at night. And still they look dead. There's obviously 3 sunflowers down there. And then there's a sunflower that we didn't actually plant. It's come out of the bird seed. And that sunflower looks healthier than the others. It's the lower one down, halfway up the bird table. It's got bigger leaves. Sally Ann says, I'm going on Brink's Jazz 9 weeks today. Hope I get good weather then and no wind. Yes, well, the wind is a nightmare. It's been really windy this year, I feel. Yesterday at Ludden, people were getting stuck across the bank, next to the bank, against the bank, I should say, because of the wind. You know, and it's just open marshes. Stephen says, sorry, got to leave for a bit. The dog wants her walk. Oh, of course. Sally Ann says, don't say that. Well, and every time we go to Braden Water, it's always windy. You'll be all right while you're moving along. It's just mooring up and casting off, isn't it, really? There were lots of boats out yesterday. Nice to see everybody back. Nine weeks makes it September, doesn't it? Oh, hello, Bumblebee. September's usually okay, isn't it? Oh, excuse me. Bumblebee didn't want me, it wants the lavender. October's generally nice weather as well. I think we've had great weather this year. Sally Ann says, definitely won't be doing Braden. Mooring up will be difficult if it's windy because it's just me and my little dog. Oh, yeah, it'd be tricky on your own. I don't think he's in here, but Francis goes on holiday on a boat on his own with his little dog. Michael says, we keep saying we will move to Norfolk from Kent, but we're still here. I need to kick up the rear to make it happen, I suppose. Oh, what part of Norfolk? Actually, just Norfolk or Norfolk Broads? Which part do you like? Lots of new houses being built. John says, Sally Ann, big respect for you doing that on your own. Absolutely, John. Sally Ann says, thanks, Johnny. I suppose we all should have gone down to the river at Martham, shouldn't we, this evening? John says, I need help to moor. Oh, sorry. Every time I cough, this moves, doesn't it? Mooring up does seem to be the tricky bit. I didn't go out today. I stayed in all day. Caught up on jobs here at home. Michael says, would love the Broadland area, but open to suggestions, I suppose. I know some people who were buying a house here and came here most weekend looking at houses to have a look around. Sally Ann says, I could normally manage our Alpha. All depends on the wind and tide. John says, is a swimming pool just for off camera? And then you deleted it. No swimming pool here or a hot tub, nothing like that. It's okay, John. John says I made a typo. I think the wood pigeon's on my chimney pot. Nice blue sky again coming over. It was very grey earlier when I first came out here. There's nice blue sky now and white clouds. We won't get to see sunset this evening. We're facing the wrong way. That's out the front of the house. Sunrise at the back of the house, sunset at the front of the house. Goodness, we've been on live half an hour so far. It goes so quick time when you're on doing a live. Heb says, hoping for a negative test tomorrow. Me, Hev, I'm negative now. But you've got COVID too, have you? I think that was you who said the other day you had it. Mine was, I tried to work it out earlier. It's about 10 or 11 days it took for me to be negative. And I'm left with the cough, which isn't too bad. Heb says, crikey, can't wait to get out again. I'm house and pet sitting later this week. Pam says, just popped in to say hello. Waiting for Emma Dow. You sound well chilled out. I am totally chilled out, yes. I am. Yeah. COVID negative finally. And yes, just glad that I can. It's ironic, isn't it? The day I'm negative, I stay in. I have gone out though. Once you're, because the NHS app says you can go out after 5 days. And, oh, it's a rainbow. And so when I've been out, I've sat in my car. Michael says, it's funny, I've lived in Kent all my 55 years and need a sat-nav, but when in Norfolk I don't. Shows how many visits I do. Pam says, Brill. Thank you, Pam. It's funny how you know your way around here, isn't it? Oh, I do like it when you sit here and you get the bumblebees flying around. They don't want you, they only want nectar. Another plane flying over. Apologies for the cough. SW says, greetings from Upper Street. You're not far away at all, are you? Just the other side of Ludden Bridge. Heb says, congrats on the negative test, Lisa. Your pots look lovely. Oh, thank you, Hev. Yeah, I'm glad I'm negative. The pots are looking a bit sorry for themselves with all the heat we've had. They get watered every day, though, but sometimes twice a day. I was saying earlier, perhaps before you got here, that I have to grow everything in pots because years ago, I don't know how many, a couple of 100 years ago, maybe more, the site where these houses are used to make bricks. A brick place, brick company, Martham Brick Company. So there's just sand underneath. There's a small amount of soil, and then it's sand, so nothing really grows. John says, hi Lisa, not been on for a couple of weeks. I think I've got every complaint going, and no boats in this broadcast. What complaints you got, John? Complaints about the live and the lack of boats? I was going to go out. I could have gone down to Martham Boatyard. Well, I could have gone anywhere. There's a neighbour in the garden. thought, oh, we'll just sit in the garden and chill. John says, no, feeling unwell complaints. Oh, John, do you think you've got the dreaded COVID? SW says, I do pots that way as they tend to survive with me. Yes. I mean, down the end, I've got a plum tree, or 2 plum trees in pots. And we used to grow lots of vegetables, salad things, and most of those are in pots. And they did all right. But I got a Brussels sprout plant in a pot over there. It looks so sorry for itself because caterpillars have laid their eggs on it. And spray it, and still they're there. So it's a case of if it lives, it lives. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We're growing some peas. I don't know if I told you the story about the mouse eating the peas when we first put them in. And put out the wildlife camera to see what was eating the peas. John says I don't use that word, meaning COVID. Down here we call everything the lurg. Martin, good evening, Lisa. This is very different from lapping waves and slowly moving boats. Love it all the same. Thank you, Martin. Basically, I'm just being lazy. Just going to sit in my garden with the bumblebee that's keeping me company. I don't mind daytime lives out and about. But in the evening, I find wherever I go and do a live, cars turn up. And generally, it's always a red car. SW says, cheerio, everyone. Off to do other things. Thank you for joining. See, my daughter's got the cough as well. I think there's benefits to all 4 of us having COVID at the same time. Whoever felt slightly better than the others, they were the one elected to go downstairs and get drinks for everybody, or whatever anybody wants. I mean, we didn't eat, I have to say. John says, have you spoken to your doctor about your obsession with boats? Funny enough, you can never get an appointment at your doctor's surgery these days, can you? I'm staying well away. Oh, little bee wants to be on camera. Hev says, the same here, the fittest got to put the kettle on. Yes, it's the only way you can do it. It really is. And, you know, everybody's on board and accepted that that's how it was going to be. And generally later on somebody else would feel a bit better and we'd all swap round, because the one who got up earlier to get the drinks would then be ill or feeling rough. But I think in the early days you just all sleep, don't you? Our staple diet was cold drinks and paracetamol, or Beecham's, you know, tablets. I think we're about 5 days like that. Nobody wanted to eat anything. And we were all like a day ahead of each other. So we knew from looking at the person who was the day above us how we were going to be the next day. John says, I'm sure the NHS has a boat addiction helpline. It's in my contacts. Oh, you lot on here are so funny. You really are. And that's the other thing, you know, because when I was at my worst, obviously I wasn't online, I didn't do anything. And then when I started to feel better, well, I did a live too soon of feeling, thought I was better and wasn't, but you all got me through it. John says, sorry about my sense of humour. The foxes have destroyed my garden. There's 5 of them and it's costing a fortune to feed them. There's another lady who comes in here called Suzanne. She has foxes in her garden. I've got fencing all around my garden, so there's a little gap under the gate, so hedgehogs could get under. They used to come in our garden, but they haven't for a long time. There's a gap for them should they wish to come back. Heb says, yep, happy is one day ahead, leading the way. Mind you, his way will be down the pub. Oh, John says, does Sally Ann want some more foxes? We'll ask her. If she comes in here, we'll ask her. So, John, that NHS helpline for boat addiction, do they give out boats on the NHS as the cure? Is that how it works? You get given a boat? Thank you for the likes on this live stream. We're only sat here looking at some flowers. You're all so kind. Sally Ann says, if they do, I'll be first in the queue. Yes, can I queue up behind you, Sally Ann? Any sort of boat, I'm not fussy. Sally Ann says, certainly. John says, oh, they wean you off boats. I ran away. Do you give you patches? See, this is how I got through COVID. All of you making me laugh. That was the best medicine ever, that was. John, do you have to sit in a circle and say, hello, I'm John. I'm addicted to boats. John says apparently they make you clean the boats after they've been out on hire for the next 2 weeks. Oh, Lisa, start again. Apparently they make you clean the boats after they've been out on hire for 2 weeks for the next 6 months. That's the cure for it, is it? As John says, ha, that made me laugh. What, the patches? I'm sitting in a circle. So I'm as daft as you lot. I think that's why we all get on so well. I hope it's not windy tomorrow, and then we can do a proper live out somewhere. What, John? John says I would love that. What's that? When you sit... Oh, right, I'm with you, John, sorry. John says I'll clean a boat all day. You can see it's hot and the wood has expanded in the fence panel, look. I still think it'd be nice to have a car park at St. Bennet. No, not St. Benet's. Burney Arms Mill. A car park so you can sit and watch all the boats going over Braden. Put me in charge of the Broads, and that's what I'll start up. John says, no, that's the doctors checking up on you. Sally Ann says, my little dog wants to go out, so I'll catch you tomorrow. That's absolutely fine, Sally Ann. Thank you for joining us. John says the gap's in the fence. The doctor's checking up on me. Yeah, they can come round and they can see my negative lateral flow and all my positive ones. I registered them through the NHS. You've got to do the right thing, haven't you? So apparently I've got antibodies now for up to 6 months. That's good, because I don't ever want COVID again. And surely it'll be time for us to have another injection. John says they've never got to Burnley Arms. Well, I hadn't, John. I tried a couple of times to walk there, but it's too far for me. 5 miles there, 5 miles back. That'd kill me. And I was lucky enough to be invited to cross Braden Water, so I went right past it, right at the side. John says I was going to say for 6 months. Or cleaning boats for 6 months as your addiction treatment. Or antibodies for 6 months. So I went past the Burnley Arms. Dennis says, good evening, Lisa. I've just caught you. How long have you been live? 53 minutes, Dennis. But I do think it'd be nice if they opened up the pub and there's the little cafe or the deli there and a car park, and then it'd be used all year round. That would be so popular. 6 months antibodies. I don't know, is it 3 months or 6 months? Up to 6 months. Dennis says it'll be good night shortly then. I don't think you've got your settings right. I don't think you've got them set to all notifications. Click on the bell, Dennis, for my channel. So you've got the title and my channel name, and to the right of that there's a bell. Click on that, and you want the top bell, all notifications. And then every time I go live, you'll get a notification. John says, typo error on his part. Should have read, have you ever been to a Burnley Arms? Well, I've been past on a boat, and that's good enough for me. I'm not going to catch the train, no, because there's only 3 trains a day. The wind's got up. Dennis says he's done the notifications. You have to get onto YouTube then. Hess says I've just done it. Set all your notifications, have you? John says, Millie's ears keep popping up when you speak. Oh, Millie's a lovely little girl. Yeah, you should get all the notifications now, Hev. Although, part of me feels it's based on likes. I haven't done that many lives, but you kind of look and see what happens. And I do notice when people click the thumbs up button, more people get notified, or it goes up on the live feed and more people enter. I know there's just 7 at the minute, or 6 now. But I do feel there's some connection to that. I could be wrong. There you are. Did you watch that? Did you see that? Somebody gave this a thumbs up, and now the people. Dennis says, I get notifications from all other people I follow. Never mind, I catch a little off you. Yeah, I don't know why it's like that, Dennis, for some and not others. I suppose if you think about it, I have 2,500 subscribers. I suppose they're not going to alert every single person that I'm live. If they did that for I don't know. I don't know how it works. I really don't know. All I know is you need to have all notifications activated. It's the same with me. Sometimes I won't get a notification. Somebody I follow has put out a new video until maybe 2 hours after it's been live. It's definitely a YouTube thing, but it doesn't bother me. The sky looks sort of white, doesn't it, for you? But if I hold this up, no, beautiful blue sky. I'm under the umbrella. Grey clouds that way, but they've come over the sea, because the sea is in that direction. I'm about 3 miles away from the sea. John says, I think it's all about the YouTube settings. I always get a notification. Yes, I think it is as well. But John, do you sometimes get that you don't always get a notification the instant somebody puts out a new video? Don't worry about autocorrect. See, I think, say someone has, say, 200,000 subscribers, And if everybody was notified the instant they put out a new video, 200,000 people watching the video at the same time wouldn't work, would it? So I think, and this is just my take on it, I just think they put out a percentage of notifications to the people who follow them. And then depending on how many watch it and for how long they watch it, how many likes they get on that new video, then more people are then notified. You will get the alerts eventually. I personally feel that's how it works. Michael says, bye Lisa, I have a bucket of chlorine and a pool that needs attention ready for tomorrow. Stay safe and speak soon. Have fun with that, Michael. John says, anyway, have you thought any more about adopting me? Sorry if that threw you first time around, but I cannot afford to hire a boat. No, I don't think I'm adopting any children, adults or anything. Kittens? Maybe. I'll have a house full of cats and kittens. You can never have enough kittens, can you? Why is it sometimes you can drink delicately when you have a drink, and then another time you gulp your drink and you don't mean to? John says, P.S. I am a kitten. See, that's what happens. I laugh and then I cough. At St Bennett's yesterday, 3:30 in the afternoon. Heb is laughing at John. There was the service at St Bennett's Abbey led by the Bishop of Norwich, and he arrived on a wherry. I'm glad I didn't go because I saw some photos and there were so many people there. Parking would have been a nightmare, but they had nice weather for it. I understand a lot of the boats that wanted to go got a mooring space on the Saturday, so they had their spot to be, to be nice and close for the Sunday. Oh, dragonfly. Did you see the dragonfly go past? John says, on a serious note, don't let developers build on any part of the Broads. The Broads Authority see to that. Us mere mortals don't have any say in anything like that. John says, Kevin suggested we go there. I said it would be really busy. Well, I saw the photos. If you look online, So many people. The cars would have been all the way along that lane. Heb says, night everyone, offer a much needed cuppa. Thank you for joining, Heb. Have a good evening. John, I wonder if that person managed to get their boat blessed. I think next year what I would do would be go to one of, perhaps maybe the waterworks stays and try and film them on the wherry going past there. Or take a day boat out on that day. John says I'll bring the strimmer. Yeah, don't let Kevin bring the flamethrower one. John says you may have already read old photo books of the Broads, but I like the barrel racing at Potter. When was that, John? Because there was barrel racing in Yarmouth, wasn't there? And that's when there was a clown in a barrel. John says, oh no, that's to the flamethrower. There was a clown in a barrel in the river along from the yacht station, and everybody was watching on the suspension bridge, and the suspension bridge collapsed, and there were lots of people killed, sadly, and there is a memorial to that just along from, well, it's just before you get to the first bridge after the yacht station. If you look on the left, heading towards the bridge, there's a marble commemorative stone to everybody who lost their lives from that disaster. The suspension bridge disaster. Early 1900s, I think. 1905, 03, something like that. But I could well be wrong on the date. But I know it was a clown in the barrel. Dad and daughter, thank you for joining us. They say, we're on the Broads on the 9th, leaving from Wroxham but heading straight for the Southern Broads. Hope it won't be too busy. When it was very busy yesterday, I have to say, and that is the first busy day I've seen this year, apart from the Jubilee pageant weekend. I was at Ludham watching the boats there, and John, you went over to Wood Bastrick. I saw your video you put out. It was very busy. I think it was probably busier where you were than where I was. Is everybody all right? Just sat here looking at the plants in the garden, having a chat. Dad and daughter says, we love watching your vids at Ludham. That's so very kind of you to say. Thank you. You know, I've been going there recently hoping that there would be more boats to film, because it's more interesting, isn't it, for a video? And there have been so few of numbers. But yesterday, thankfully, they were busy. So I did the live yesterday while they were all going past. Thank you to the new people just joining us. We're just having a chat about this and that. John says the barrel racing was in 1931. The guys just had a paddle and had to cross the river. That was at Potter Heigham, was it? So only 8 years, or 9 years, and it's 100 years ago. We decided we'd go out for a drive last night. It was dark, and when it's been so hot, that's what we've done. We've just gone for a drive off an evening. So we set off and we went along the coast road. John says, yes, the Potter Heigham Regatta. They don't have anything like that now, do they? And we're driving along the coast road in the rain. This is the daft sort of thing we do. Anyway, as we just pulled into Horsey wind pump. So many boats moored in the stave there with all their lights on. The wooden sailing boats. They look absolutely spectacular. Does anybody else do daft things like that? John says, what was that? What, when I was saying about going for a drive last night? Well, when it's been hot, we've been going for a drive in the evening. And you have the air conditioning on or the windows down. And we went along the coast road and we went to Horsey wind pump. Just pulled in there. And there were lots of boats in the stay that all got their lights on, and they look so beautiful. The wooden yachts. Dad and daughter say, we hope to have seen you last year when we were on a boat. We do go for a drive sometimes and often go to Ludham in the hope of meeting you to say hello and thank you. Oh, that's so kind. I'm sorry I didn't see you. I used to go there every day, near enough, because that is where all the action is. You know, the quantity of boats. And then people started saying, oh, you only ever go to Ludham, go to other places. So I went to other places, and then people didn't like people didn't like it because there was nothing happening in my videos. Well, you know, that's why I was at Ludham Bridge. But I've carried on. I still don't go to Ludham Bridge now. I just think, well, there you go. Don't complain. You know, people watch for free videos. It doesn't cost them anything at all, yet they feel they have the right to complain. I don't think I'll ever get used to that. John says Millie needs her walk before bed. I'll leave you on the TV and see if you're still there when you get back. You might be abducted in Norwich. Would they take you or Millie? Been online 79 minutes. Shall I plug in the charger just in case we're running low on battery? I notice in the heat my phone's been overheating, which hasn't been good. Because then I end up with a black screen and I can't see you and you can't see me, and oh my goodness. John says, I don't mind videos without too many boats. Just seeing the water and reeds moving in the breeze is wonderful. And thank you for the videos. You're very welcome, John. Thank you. John says, I doubt that. She's very protective. Oh. She won't let you go far away. Right. Battery is charging. Isn't it nice now it's cooler? You know, some evenings it was too hot to even sit out here. It's like being abroad. Dad and daughter say we love holidays on the Broads because it's so calming. We think you should be the voice of the Broads, as your voice is also soft and calming. Wherever you are filming, we love to watch. That is so kind. Thank you. I do try to vary it this year more than ever. It's like while I've been doing this live, I've been thinking, where should I go and film tomorrow? But it's no good planning in advance. You have to wait and see what the day's like and how windy it is or how hot it's going to be. See, the wind has died right off now. But earlier today, this afternoon, it was very windy. I've got a wood pigeon come to join me. Yes? I'm going to have a drink. All right then, you have a drink. John says, in the heat wave, I turned the hose pipe on myself. When I owned up to this, everybody else said so did I. Yeah, you just got to do what you got to do, haven't you? I found sometimes, when it was 40 odd, I'd wake up in the night if I'd even managed to fall asleep, and then I'd go and put cold water on my face and then go sit by the fan. That was very cooling, that was. That really helps. I love that the birds come in the garden and they know where to have a bath or drink of water. We've got seed and pellets, sunflower hearts. You name it, they've got it. They're as spoilt as Bertie is. I haven't quite decided where I'll go and do a live from tomorrow. Depends how many people that are there and can I cope with them all looking at me talking to myself, talking to my phone. Wood pigeon definitely wants to be on camera, doesn't it? I reckon it's a nice evening for being on a boat. Well, as there's only 5 people here now, do you think we ought to call it a day? John says, stop worrying, the whole world's mad, so they won't worry about you. That's very true. Yes, that's very true. Oh, here we go. He's going to come and walk up here now, look. Can have another drink. You can see they're used to me. Oh, bye. In the days before I ever did YouTube, there was another live streaming platform which I used to live stream the birds feeding in my garden. Didn't speak, nothing like that. Just built up this table piece to put my camera on, and I would live stream the birds as they came in my garden and ate. Do you know I had loads and loads of watchers, and the majority of my watchers were from Hong Kong in high-rise blocks of flats. And birdseed companies cottoned on to that, and they used to send me birdseed and bird feeders. But then that platform was sold, so it stopped. I don't know who bought it. I don't know. I think it was just bought so that it wasn't then used, if that makes sense. It was got rid of. It does still exist now. John says, okay, I will be the first to say goodnight. Catch you later. Be safe. Thank you for joining, John. See you next time. We've got some pink clouds now. Pink tinge. Well, we've been live for 90 minutes. An hour and a half. So I think I'm going to say goodnight to you all. And hopefully I'll be back again live during the day tomorrow, and we'll have boats to watch. So thank you all for joining. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.